I was just reading an article and just saying, God has trusted you with the soul to bring into this life. He loves you. He loves your soul and this baby soul, and you are worth it. You are worth the time, energy, and money that it takes to care for your body in preparing for this labor and postpartum period. You're worth it. And I'm like, I don't believe that. Maybe that's like, I always feel bad. Like, here lies Shannon, she feels bad. Oh, I'm sorry I invested the money too low. I'm sorry I had to pay for this, or I'm sorry I have to take time for myself to do this. Like, I'm always
Yeah.
why? You don't make me feel bad. You don't say these things. I just feel this way. And I think at the core, I just realized I don't think I'm worth it. And I need to change that.
Hi, and welcome back. And so we've been talking about a lot of stuff this week, emotional abuse, why conflict seems to be really a pain in the neck for a lot of people. And one of the things we were talking about is just how having the right amount of confidence in yourself, like healthy confidence, not self-esteem. We're not talking about self-esteem or
Right.
these weird constructs, but actual confidence helps to keep us from getting into a place where we are afraid of our spouse or we want to control our spouse. And we would talk a little bit about how is it that we keep confidence high in marriage
Just
so
be
that
more
we don't
confident.
spiral. What? Just be more confident.
Thinking of that old skit that is like, stop it. Who was it on that? It was like SNL
No,
in
yeah.
the
Well,
70s.
yeah, no, yeah.
I can't think of the guy's name, but
Bob Newhart did it,
that's it.
I
Bob
think.
Newhart skit when he was like the
On
therapist.
Mad TV, I think. I don't,
Oh, was it
yeah,
Mad
I think
TV?
it
Yeah,
was Mad TV, probably.
that's hilarious. Just stop it.
Yeah.
I have this problem. I'm like, always like afraid. Just stop it.
Well, just get more
Get
confident.
more confidence. That's it.
No,
But I know
what's your
how.
real answer?
I don't have a real answer. I feel like once it's funny because you've labeled me as a confident woman. And I guess in ways I am, but in other ways, I just hear these voices in not like send me to a psych ward kind of voices, okay. But like almost like the negative, like when I think I can do something, it's like a negative. Well, why would you think you're good enough? Why would you think anyone wants to listen to you? You're no one cares. And it's like, no, and I almost have to like talk myself out of it. And where did it come from? I mean, I don't know. There's plenty of I'm sure I've just heard it from different places. You know what I mean? Either in the world, online, childhood, all those things. And they do. It has a real effect on you. We hear the same thing over and over again. But you just at some point I don't know, like it was something recently where I said, I just realized I was is regarding birth. Like I think I was just reading my doula's. She had written an article and just saying, God has trusted you with a soul to bring into this life. He loves you. He loves your soul and this baby soul, and you are worth it. You are worth the time, energy, and money that it takes to care for your body in preparing, for this labor and postpartum period. You're worth it. And I'm like, I don't believe that. Maybe that's like, I always feel bad. Like, here lies Shannon, she feels bad. Oh, I'm sorry I invested the money too low. I'm sorry I had to pay for this, or I'm sorry I have to take time for myself to do this. Like, I'm always
Yeah.
why? You don't make me feel bad. You don't say these things. I just feel this way. And I think at the core, I just realized I don't think I'm worth it. And I need to change that because I think I know that I am, and you tell me I am, and
Yep.
God, I know God, thinks I am, but I just maybe there's something like that for you. I don't know, and I couldn't even put words on it until this week.
But your confidence comes from where then? Obviously, we know that is a huge thing, right?
Yeah,
So marketing
you're like that's great, but there's nothing to do with
no,
my question.
I'm just saying, I think it's a big point, which is again goes back to what we've been saying is for the last 75 years of marketing in this country, it's designed to make people
I
compare
think because
themselves
it's
and feel bad.
self-esteem, it's a false sense is what I'm saying. Like I feel good about myself because I'm all these great things. And when I get my nails done and I do my hair and I do all this, I'm great. So this is self-esteem, but it doesn't get to the root of like, I think the sense of worthiness or someone loves you, someone believes in you, or you are good just the way you are. And I don't know that that is like, for me at least, that like knowing that I'm good and that I'm loved, well, then I have the freedom to be confident because like God made me. He loves me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I have a family who loves me, that I'm secure in that.
Now, most couples think their marriage problem is communication. It's not. The real problem is that most couples are having the same conversation over and over again. You've probably heard this before. Well, we've already talked about this. Well, you always say that. You never listen to me. Why do we keep on having the same fights over and over again? None of this is a communication issue. It's a direction issue. You're trying to solve problems while walking in the same conversational circle. And the more you talk about it, the more stuck it feels. Healthy couples don't avoid conflict. They change the direction of the conversation. And when the direction changes, everything changes. So I'm going to be teaching a free webinar where I'm going to show you the simple shifts couples use to move their marriage forward without therapy sessions, without blame, and without digging up the past. If you want to learn how to change the direction of your marriage and the conversations there, click the link and join us. I think that you're going to find it surprisingly helpful.
And that can give me the confidence to just, live in truth and be that person.
Yeah. There's a couple things as you're talking, I'm thinking, so back in the 90s, I'm trying to think who it was. Phil Hartman, the comedian, he used to do it. I think it was Phil Hartman. I don't know, maybe it wasn't. Oh, there was a character, Stuart Smalley on Saturday Night Live. I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and people like me. And I think one of the things as you're talking about, and one thing that I haven't really thought about was, so there's an old psychologist called Conrad Bars, right? I think he was from Holland, and he wrote a bunch of books, but one of them was called like, Healing the Unaffirmed, right? And his psychological perspective on people is either you are affirmed, meaning to be made strong, or you are unaffirmed, which means you lack strength. And I think we've been blessed by people of faith that have been made strong. They did not need me. They did not need me to give them anything. And I think that that's something that I've experienced in my life from people. We both have people that, and I don't think this always
Like,
happens. I think friends, mentors, people that are outside of our family, like, I'm not saying that
so we can kind of see people in our
yes.
outer circle,
Yeah.
maybe.
And there's a relationship that people have with God where God has said to them, or they know in their being, God has said to them, you are the beloved daughter, or you are the beloved son. And they know that, right? We went to, you went to Amy Beatros's funeral, and when they did Amy Beatros started St. Luke's Mission of Mercy in Buffalo with Norm Polini. And at her funeral, when they did one of her eulogies, they had said, well, Amy was a sinner, but she knew she was loved. And
Mhm.
I think part of it is, do you know that you're loved? And I think one of the key things for this confidence is to be around people who know that they are loved, not just because they do things, but because they've experienced God and they've experienced God in themselves. So when they're with people, they don't need something. They're not coming to people to take from them. Amy did a lot of things, but she was never taking anything from anybody.
I think
People
that's why
gave her
people love
money.
to be around her.
Yeah.
I mean, because there are people who would say mean things to her. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
She had the confidence to take it. Like, okay, that's fine. You think that, but this is what God wants. And like, yeah, she knew she was loved. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you say or what you think. It's going to roll right off me because that's not the truth.
Yeah, so I think part of it is a fruit of prayer. But when people met Amy, or people met, like, people in my life, I think that they take nothing, right? You know, Vladimir will say, like, he takes nothing. Like, he's not taking anything except for maybe fear from people, but
Mhm.
he's not taking anything from people. There's a giving of the self. And to be made strong, though, you need to meet people. You can't do it on your own. You can't affirm yourself. So that's one of the things. The culture lies, and it says, like that Stuart Smalley character for Saturday Night Live, oh, just talk into the mirror and say you're beautiful and you're wonderful. I mean, yeah, there is something in repeating positive statements, but
Mhm.
to feel at your core that you are the beloved daughter, you are the beloved son, you have to have a relationship with God. And then from that relationship, you have to do certain things. So I think it happens in different
And
ways.
it has to be based in truth. So,
Yes.
like, I think for affirmations to work, it needs to be based in truth. So it
Mhm.
can't just be looking in the mirror and saying, you are strong, you are powerful, but maybe that person doesn't work on that. Maybe that person doesn't do anything but like go to their, shift work at McDonald's and doesn't want to better their
Yeah.
life. You know what I mean? And like, well, you're diligent when you're not diligent. That might, you know what I mean? That's a false statement, and that's not building up anything or confirming
No,
anything. But there's difference. Like I just posted affirmations for the birth of the
but
yeah,
they're all true.
and they're all true. It's like, you were built to birth,
It's
right?
true.
God created you for this. Like these are truths that we're reminding ourselves of.
But the truth,
Did you know there are two kinds of desire in marriage? One just shows up, the other has to be built. Most couples only wait for spontaneous desire, the kind that feels automatic. But over time, that one fades and fluctuates. Responsive desire is different. It grows from closeness, from touch, from emotional safety, from friendship. And when you understand the difference, everything changes. We created a free guide called Into Me You See, a couple's guide to true intimacy to help you rebuild trust, lower pressure around sex, and develop desire in a healthy, natural way. If you want deeper emotional and physical connection, download it now. It's free. Click the link in show notes or go to heartsrenewed.org and start tonight.
the affirmations make you have to encounter God,
Right.
not yourself. Not
That's the
just not
difference then.
yourself first, right?
Right.
So if it's yourself first, they don't work. But if it's like, yeah, God said this.
Right.
God said this about me. He said this. He made me this way. That's very different than, oh my goodness, I got to believe it. I'm the brave little toaster or something. I think no, but if you think about that, I think that that's a powerful thing with the affirmations and why they work and why they don't is, does this connect you to God first?
Mm.
And that's the truth. But you don't
But then
affirm
there's the
yourself.
truth where my truth and your truth. Because if there is no truth, then this entire conversation is just null and void.
That's just making me anxious, which is why we're talking about this week.
Right. Because people don't believe in truth anymore. And so then you just got to live your own truth. Well, there is no own truth. There is the truth. And you can either recognize it or pretend there's not.
Yeah.
And that's when you don't have confidence, is when you're pretending there's no truth.
Well, and if you have a conversation with two people who feel that way, they're only going to fight, and they're only going to fight for power because they both are trying to fight out who's the rightest of them all. And so that's where you have the emotional and sometimes terribly physical abuse, right? Because I want to win, because my truth is more important than your truth. There's no objective stuff. It's all emotional. So when you think about this whole idea of affirmations and making yourself strong, I think one of the things, to go back to what you were saying, is you go to God. Yeah. So whether it's scripturally, like you have the affirmations that are scripturally based, right? Or you can go obviously into prayer, which I think that's essential. The second thing is you have to figure out, if you are the beloved son, if you are the beloved daughter, how do you conduct yourself? You have to conduct yourself with that identity. Otherwise, there's, if you're the beloved son, but you're lazy and you're drinking too much and you're cheating on your wife, well, you're not affirmed. Like, you're obviously like in destructive ways. So you have to
Like,
be,
how does a beloved son act?
yeah. How does he?
And now I need to rise to that occasion.
Yeah, I have to rise and I have to take action in that direction. And then the other thing though, as you were talking about, we were talking about people, is I need to be around people that are affirmed. I need to be around a community of faith or people that have encountered that experience of identity. So whether it's people like Amy or whether it's friends or priests that we know have been sent to us, you need the community of people because they make you don't become strong on your own. You need other people. Otherwise lose your humanity. So as you were talking about this, I thought about this as in almost every situation, I think, where there's like really big conflict and a lot of emotional abuse, you're going to see those couples most of the time are in isolation. They don't have friends. And if they do have friends, they're not friends that are going to have genuine conversation, or they're with people who are unaffirmed. They do not know that they are the beloved son or their beloved daughter, and their conduct is not consistent with the person they want to be. So check yourself. Do you have a relationship with God? Do you know what he says about you? Do you have a relationship with yourself that is consistent, that is indicative that you are a strong person, or are you engaged with that? And like, what kind of friends do you have? I mean, are you around? And again, like, are you affirmed? Like, and this is a big deal in the therapeutic work, because if you work with a counselor or a therapy person or a social worker or whatever it is, are they affirmed? And if they're not, right, everybody needs that affirmation. You need to be made strong by people who are strong. But if I'm just making up my own truth, you can't do that. That's intrinsically flawed.
And you
So,
know that your nature knows that, and your
yeah,
body knows that, and eventually that's where the breakdown is.
yeah. And then we fight for power. So hopefully this was useful. We learned a lot. Hopefully you did too. So if you haven't already subscribed to the podcast, send us your questions, your support, your prayers, your complaints. Go to heartsrenewed.org, and you guys have a great rest of your day.
Great weekend.